Ever imagine yourself at the helm of a massive power plant, making sure the lights stay on for thousands, even millions of people? It's got to be more than just a cool title, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Power plant manager. Sounds pretty important.
It's demanding,
Yeah.
but it's definitely rewarding.
And that's what we're diving into today, this career path, and we're going to give you the full charge, so to speak.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And what's interesting about this is that, when you think power plant manager, you think of the physical plant itself, right?
Right.
But it goes way beyond that. You're understanding the complex interplay of energy generation, and then getting that energy to where it needs to go.
Okay, so paint a picture for us. What is a day in the life? What are they actually doing?
So think of it like this.
Okay.
You are conducting an orchestra,
Oh.
but instead of musical instruments, you're harmonizing massive turbines, generators, intricate transmission networks.
Wow. So you're not just flipping switches, you're coordinating this entire flow of energy.
That's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure. What kind of salary can someone expect with that level of responsibility?
Yeah, the buck stops with you.
Yeah.
But the salary, thankfully, kind of reflects that.
Yeah.
Depending on experience and location, you're looking at an average, this is from our research, an average annual salary ranging from $80,000 to well over $150,000.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Now I'm hearing orchestra conductor, complex networks. This has got to be a pretty specialized field. What kind of job security are we talking? Is this a career path with a future?
I think so. I mean, no one can predict the future perfectly,
Right.
but the Bureau of Labor Statistics projects a steady growth rate in this sector, about 3% over the next decade.
Okay.
And honestly, the way the world relies on energy, I wouldn't be surprised if that's even an underestimate.
That's reassuring to hear. It's not every day you find a career that's in demand and pays well. So we've established power plant managers. They're in high demand, impressive salaries, job security is looking pretty good. But what about the actual work, though? What are some things they don't tell you in the job description? Right? Let's pull back the curtain a bit. What are some of the maybe not so glamorous aspects of this job?
Yeah, you're right. Every job has its nuances, right?
Oh.
It's not all smooth sailing and big paychecks.
Okay, so what are some of the challenges that someone should be prepared for going into a role like this?
Well, first off, be ready to work some long and often unpredictable hours, especially if there's emergencies or during peak demand.
Sure.
Like during a heat wave when everyone and their dog is cranking up the AC.
Right.
You're the one that has to make sure the grid doesn't go dark.
So definitely not a 9 to 5 kind of gig then.
No, not by a long shot. You're constantly on call, dealing with unexpected issues, and you got to make decisions, critical decisions with limited information and under pressure.
Yeah, I can only imagine. You mentioned emergencies. What are some of the risks involved here? It sounds like a pretty high stakes environment.
It is. Power plants, by their very nature, deal with massive amounts of energy and often some pretty hazardous materials.
Right.
Safety is absolutely paramount. You're not just keeping the lights on, but you're responsible for the well-being of your entire team.
That makes a lot of sense. So it takes a lot more than just technical know-how. What kind of person thrives in a role like this? Someone who's not afraid of a challenge.
Got to have a cool head under pressure, for sure.
Okay.
Strong leadership skills to inspire your team, and that ability to make those tough calls when you don't have all the information.
Right.
It's a challenging field, but for the right person, incredibly rewarding.
Okay, so let's say someone is ready to take on that challenge.
Yeah.
What are the essential skills and qualifications that they need to succeed as a power plant manager? Where do you even begin? So you've painted a picture of high pressure, high reward career path. It sounds like it takes a really unique blend of technical expertise, but also these leadership qualities to really excel as a power plant manager. So for someone who's intrigued, what are some of the must-have qualifications if you're going to break into this field?
Well, you hit the nail on the head with the technical expertise part. A solid foundation in engineering is really non-negotiable.
Okay.
And we're talking, the classics, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, even environmental engineering comes into play these days.
Yeah.
Those are your building blocks because you're dealing with some really complex systems.
That makes sense. But you also mentioned leadership and management being key. So it's not just about understanding the machinery itself.
Exactly. You're not just managing equipment, you're managing people.
Hmm?
You're managing budgets. You're often managing multiple projects at the same time.
Wow.
And that's where strong business administration skills and project management skills become absolutely essential.
So it's a balancing act. You need that engineering knowledge to keep the plant running, but you also need the business acumen to keep it, profitable, efficient, all of that.
100%. And to even take it a step further, having that solid business foundation can also help you communicate those often very complex technical issues to stakeholders who maybe don't have the same engineering background.
That's such a good point, being able to bridge that gap. So let's say they've got the engineering chops, they understand the business side of things. What else can they do to stand out in what I imagine is a pretty competitive job market?
Yeah, that's a great question. So certifications, that's a fantastic way to really demonstrate your expertise
Okay.
and show your commitment to the field.
Yeah.
So earning your professional engineer license, the PE license,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big one. Shows you've met these rigorous standards and have the experience to back it up. Another great one is the Certified Energy Manager credential, the CEM. That focuses specifically on energy efficiency and sustainability, which is becoming increasingly important.
Absolutely. So it's like you're leveling up your credentials, you're showing potential employers like, hey, I'm serious about this. What about networking? Is that important in an industry like this?
I would say it's crucial. Attend industry conferences, join professional organizations.
Like what are some examples?
Yeah, so you've got the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, ASME.
Okay.
These are just fantastic ways to connect with other professionals, stay updated on the absolute latest technologies, and you never know, you might even hear about job opportunities.
Yeah, word of mouth is huge. And of course, in today's world, having a strong online presence is
Yeah.
essential.
Oh, absolutely. Think of your LinkedIn profile as your digital resume.
Hmm.
Make sure it's up to date. Make sure it really showcases your skills, showcases your experience.
So we've talked about education, we've talked about certifications, networking, online presence. Anything else that aspiring power plant managers can do to kind of, bolster that resume, make themselves stand out to those potential employers?
I think it's about really thinking about what makes you uniquely qualified, right? So did you lead a really successful project in a previous role? Did you maybe write an article for an industry publication? Highlight those accomplishments. Don't be shy. And, never underestimate the power of a really, really well-crafted cover letter to sell your passion and your skills.
It's about connecting the dots,
Yeah.
showing how your unique experience really aligns with the demands of this very specific role.
Exactly. You're
Yeah.
not just an applicant. You're a problem solver. You're a leader. You're an energy expert. Make sure that shines through.
This has been incredibly insightful. We've covered a lot of ground.
Mm.
The technical skills, the leadership qualities, the importance of continuous learning. It's clear that becoming a power plant manager, this is a journey,
It is.
not a sprint. Any final thoughts for our listeners today as they consider this really interesting career path?
I think as the energy landscape continues to evolve, especially now with, the rise of renewable energy sources and all this incredible technology,
Right.
the role of a power plant manager is only going to become more vital and even more exciting. So who knows what new challenges and innovations lie ahead, but it's definitely an exciting field to be a part of.
It really does sound like it. So as you consider this career path in power plant management, think about this. How will you power the future? That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us.